My father started McAfee Animal Hospital in 1943. He hung the shingle up and was a large animal practitioner. He did swine, cattle, goats, sheep. Wasn't real comfortable with horses, so he didn't do a lot of horse work. So this happened, and then 4 kids came, boom, boom, boom. So we had 4 kids in a space of 5 years, and I was a twin. I was his third out of the 4 kids. My earliest memories are of walking over to the clinic when Dad needed help when he was doing a cesarean section on a bitch, a dog. He needed somebody to help pull the pups out of Mom. So my brother and I would stand there, and they'd drop the pups in our hands. We'd have to massage the pups, warm them up, and incredibly good memories. Dad got paid a whole lot from the farmers, and they didn't have money. So they pay him with half a beef. They pay him with a dozen eggs. They give him a couple of chickens. So we got paid a lot of time in produce from the farmers instead of cash. And a couple things about Dad, and I wish you were here to hear this right now, but he trusted everybody. So everything he did was on a handshake. So, hey, Doc, I'll pay you next week. Fine. Well, Doc, you need an invoice or receipt from me? No, I trust you. You know, shake your hand. So he had an incredible trust with all the farmers. They really looked up to him. So he was Doc to everybody. So my dad's name was John McAfee, but his name to every single person in Valpo was Doc. Doc was emulated and looked up to by Porter County people and very much by me. And Dad had a real love for animals, and obviously it showed through because I think I wanted to be a veterinarian almost before I could spell the word. So I wanted to be a vet ever since I was a little kid. You know how so many times in high school and college your buddies don't know what they want to do for a living. I never had one doubt in my mind on what I wanted to do for a living. Always wanted to be a veterinarian. I graduated from veterinary school 1972-73. So I went out to San Diego to practice. It was a three veterinarian facility, small animal. I was out there till June of 1975. My father calls me up on a Friday night at 6 o'clock, June of 1975. He goes, son, I've sold the practice tomorrow at 6 p.m. So you've got 24 hours to decide. I know you don't want to live in Indiana. I know you love it out in San Diego, but your name's in the front door. And it would be an honor to me if you joined the practice. Your name's in the front door. You can come in as a full partner. Let me know by tomorrow night. I love you. Okay. So hang the phone up. I tell my girlfriend the story, and Patty, and I go, Patty, I'm thinking about moving back to Valparaiso. And she goes, you know, her parents lived in Gary. She goes, my parents really want me back there. I agree, let's think about going back. I go, okay, great, I'd love to go back. And she goes, well, there's one problem. I go, okay. And she goes, we're not going back unless we get married. So now it's 6 o'clock, 6:30 Friday night. Not only do I have to call my dad by Saturday night and tell him yes or no, but I have to decide whether or not I want to get married. And obviously the 2 best decisions I ever made in my life, I made that night. So I joined a practice in 1975, and it was my father and I in a partnership for 4 years. I've had a whole lot of partners in my life. A lot of veterinarians come through McAfee Animal Hospital. Dr. Violanti is my partner today. And obviously Steve's a great partner. He's a good person. But my father was unique and a special partner to have because he is a McAfee. And obviously everything Dad did, he did for me, and it was fun. Although, whenever you're a partner with a father, of course, you get this. So we had some episodes that were, it's hard to work with a family member. My wife was the head receptionist at McAfee Animal Hospital in the early 80s. Probably the most cherished memories I have at the old McAfee Animal Hospital are my wife and I as receptionist, veterinarian, and my father as partner. It was a really laid back, relaxed, easy atmosphere at that time. And now, we're a 6 veterinarian practice, and incredibly proud of this practice, but I miss the way it used to be, of course. I miss Valpo when Valpo was a little city. I miss knowing everybody by their first names. I miss the ambiance, the laid-back atmosphere, but I'm really proud of the quality of practice we have now. And it was such a neat thing to be able to go, "Hey, Dad, what do you think?" And he'd give me this little spout. He'd go, "Oh, so you don't know everything?" "Oh, no. Can I ask your advice?" And that was real special moments between my father and I. So when he left the practice, one of the biggest things I think the practice lost was his experience, the personal touch. Back then, you knew every client, you knew every pet, you knew every client by first name. So the personal touch, it's been really hard as this practice has grown to continue the personal touch, and we try and do that every day, but it's hard, and I miss that part of it. I miss Dad's being there, and Dad's giving me advice, and Dad's wisdom. The other thing Dad taught me that Dad gifted me with, was the fact that when I look in the mirror every night at 62 years of age, I love what I do. And that's my dad's fault. Because if my dad were not a veterinarian, I don't know if I'd have become a vet. So my dad blessed me with idolizing him and watching him and just seeing his love for animals and his love for veterinary medicine. And I was gifted with that also, as was my daughter. In recognition of the founding of the McAfee Animal Hospital 50 years ago, and an extreme thanks for what Dad has started this place and built this place into, we'd like to honor Dr. John McAfee, founder of McAfee Animal Hospital, 50 years of caring service, 1943 to 1993. Thanks, Chief. Brooke wanted to help present the plaque today because Brooke would like to continue the tradition. It'd be a real thrill to have 3 generations of McAfee veterinarians. One big part of this practice to me is my daughter joining in June of this year. So Dr. Brooke McAfee is the 3rd generation. Dr. McAfee joined this practice in June. I am, without doubt, as you and I have talked about, I am the highest guy on the face of the earth to have my daughter join this practice. So the legacy continues, and when I'm gone, my legacy and my father's legacy will carry on. So McAfee Animal Hospital continuing, it just brings a joy to my heart. Dad must have done something right, and I must have done something right to have Brooke McAfee want to become a veterinarian and join this practice. I hope the biggest legacy that I leave my daughter when I've passed away, and she's sitting in this chair talking about her father, like I've talked about my father, is number 1, the love for the job. She has seen the incredible hours that I've worked at veterinary medicine, but the love that I have for animals. So I hope deep in my heart that she says that about me. caring and compassion, and love for her job. So I hope that's the legacy that I leave. I like animals a whole lot more than I like people. Animals give me unconditional love. Animals don't care if you're fat. They don't care if you stink. They don't care if you're ugly. They give you unconditional love. I go home at night from a long day's work here at the clinic, and I love my wife very much, but she'll come up, hey honey, how are you? My Maltese Max will attack me as if he hasn't seen me for 5 years. He'll jump hysterically, he'll bark hysterically, and I don't want to say I'm happier to see my dog than I am my wife at night, but it's really, really fun to see my dog when I get home at night. So dogs and cats and pets bring love to the table, and that's all they ask from you.